Hello, welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events, and I promised you an active and unsettled weather pattern. We got a little bit of sleet mixed in with that rain last night through a process called evaporative cooling. I'm not going to go into all that, but basically there's a lot of dry air that was in place. It was evaporating into that, cooling the column a little bit, and it was forming some sleet pellets. So once that process is complete, it can last an hour or two. Once that process is complete, then it just turns to all rain. All the temperatures were above freezing, so there was no concern. I tell you what, I'm going to go through all the way to Christmas in this. I got my Santa hat on. I'm ready. I want the snow, but if you look on the right side of the blog, you see my chance for a white Christmas, and I'm not optimistic at all. I'm sorry, but what about cold air? I think there's a ton of cold air coming, but maybe after Christmas, a little bit. I'm going to explain everything about this in just a few minutes. But these systems coming through, I'll talk about the one coming through, the next one on Friday, and this is the danger in what I'm about to do with this model, looking out 7 days. This is the danger. Just a couple of days ago, it looked, hey, there's going to be some heavy rain in South Arkansas. And now things are going the other direction. It's not looking like there's going to be all that much rain, at least not heavy rain. There's going to be some rain. But this is trending further south and weaker. So this is the thing that you've really got to watch. I mean, the model's here just within a couple of days not doing well. And now I'm about to go out to the next 7 days, 7 to 10 days. So you have to keep in mind things are going to they're going to fluctuate, and things are going to change as we head through the next several days. But the core underlying message I want to get out is, yes, there is colder air coming in. As we thought the first half of December at and above average, the second half a different story. By the time we get to the end of the month and you look at the month as a whole, it all washes out. All right, as average. So let's see what Santa Claus may bring us here. And you're looking at I love showing this. I love looking at it. It's the GFS ensembles. And we're looking at temperatures just off the surface. And these are anomalies in degrees Celsius. So when you look at where the temperatures should be on average for this time of the year in degrees Celsius, where are we looking? Above, below, plus, minus. And you see the scale here on the right side of your screen. 0. So that's where you're looking at temperatures, pretty typical where they should be for this time of the year. And then warmer and below. So you're looking at, and you see the time here, the dates here. This is from midnight on the 19th through midnight on the 20th. So this is now. And you can see the rain producing, the rain in the clouds producing below average temperatures. But boy, a lot of warm weather, not warm weather. You can't, it's not warm, it's just above average. It's still very cold in Canada. But let's see what happens here. So this is our mild December so far. Boy, temperatures really are cranking up. This is the 21st through the 22nd, 22nd through the 23rd. We're not talking about mild, but we're talking about above average. And then, boy, I tell you what, but this is where things start to turn. This is Christmas Eve, and you can see below average temperatures taking place at or below across Arkansas and the southeast. So what day is this? This is day 6 through 7. And here's Christmas Day. Here's the thing this is subject to change. We're talking about something in the 7 to 8 day time period. Can you believe Christmas is here? It's just a week away. And very important, you see these below average, these anomalies, colder than average anomalies taking place over Western Canada. All right, cold air is now on the move. It's warming up in Alaska. You got this big ridge coming up, and you got a ridge trying to develop across the West Coast, especially here. The initial air mass coming in for Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I think is going to have a lot more Pacific air. I just don't see any true Arctic air coming into this pattern just yet. But there are changes afoot, and temperatures a little bit above average. Now, let's say that this air mass here that's developing plunges further towards the south. So this is Christmas Day. This is going to be on the move. What is this going to be faster, slower? These are things that the timing of it this far out. But the bottom line is there's going to be some cold air on the move. And the data continues to point to it arriving after Christmas, the day after. This is the 26th to the 27th. Look at this. Temperature anomalies in degrees Celsius were at or below average throughout much of the state. But look at that those anomalies towards the north. You're talking about -7 to -10 degrees Celsius below. And look at this. This is day 9 through 10, the 27th through the 28th. Look at large part of western central Canada along the east coast, the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains eastward towards the east coast. So this is a classic signature here of cold Arctic air banking up against, it's shallow and it can't get over the continental divide. So this is what happens. You see the Rockies really showing up, the continental divide, and all that cold air is forced along the eastern portions of the Rockies towards the eastern United States. Again, this is day 9 through 10. This is day 10 through 11. The cold air is really locking in, and it grows colder and colder and colder. This is January 2nd through the 3rd, day 15 through 16. And the bottom line is here, you can't say, boy, it's going to be this temperature with a chance for precipitation. No, you can't look at this way. You just know, you can see that there's ridging taking place across the eastern Pacific, on the way up to Canada, Alaska, into the Arctic Circle, and then you see the cold air, colder than average temperatures getting dislodged towards the south. And we see this taking place, and I did a Facebook video extra about the Arctic Oscillation Index. And let me move this up just a little bit here. The Arctic Oscillation Index, when it's in its positive phase, first of all, you need to know that this line right here, this is the zero, the neutral line right here. All right? So that's 0. When it's in its positive phase, you see 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. This is the Arctic Oscillation. We tend to get mild weather across our portion of the world. When it gets into its negative phase, that's when we start to see the plunges of cold air into the deep south. All right, so this is December 1st, the 6th, the 11th, the 16th, the 21st, the 26th, and then me. Anyway, so and I can't move me. Anyway, you see that through much of, you see some dips here, but generally it's been in its positive phase, which correlates well with the above average temperatures. And it stays like that, but look at this. It reaches its peak around the 22nd, 23rd, and look what happens. Goes down to goes down to neutral by about Christmas, and it goes sharply negative. So these are all the different computer models, sharply negative around the same time period, and they're all agreeing. You see how it's been positive, and then it goes into the negative. So that is another indicator that's confirming what we're thinking about the colder air coming. So now let's take you through. This is the new experimental GFS model looking at the entire country. And it's experimental in that what the fine folks at INSEP and NOAA are doing is they're making the GFS higher resolution. I think they're bringing the grid down to 13 kilometers from 27 or 28 to 13. I can't remember. But anyway, the point is they're trying to make it better than the European model, which my Twitter conversation with Joe Bastardi at weatherbell.com, he brought up a very good point. I don't know, and I can't say this with 100% certainty, but the physics of the model haven't changed, so this may actually amplify the known errors of the model. Maybe Santa will bring us a model like the European. Who knows? Anyway, the thing you're looking at, the black lines are the isobars. The red lines, that's the 32-degree line, so that's the freezing line. And the 35-degree line is in blue. I bloviated for almost 9 minutes here. I'm sorry, but I hope that you're getting a lot of good information out of this. You see the green, that's the precipitation, and that's all rain over the previous 6 hours. And this is on Friday at 6 p.m. So from noon till 6 p.m., notice it's not a lot. You're talking about 1/4 of an inch or less across southern Arkansas, whereas before some models were showing up to an inch. And then that moves off towards the east. So there really isn't a lot coming. There's rain, but not a lot coming for this Friday into Saturday morning. The weekend looks pretty dry. I think we're going to see some breaks in those clouds finally. But let's take you into next week. Remember, above average temperatures. Not by a whole lot, but yeah, above average temperatures to start off Christmas week. Let's go into, let's see, this is Monday. Here's low pressure. You're getting breezy conditions and warming taking place here. So temperatures are going to start off the week very mild. But look what happens. By Tuesday, a strong front comes through, but the air behind this front, here's the front right here, the cold front. I should have gotten this arrow and done a better job with it. Anyway, so here's the front right in here, and some rain with that. But the air behind this front, yeah, it's colder than ahead of it, obviously. It's a cold front. But I just don't see any true Arctic air behind this initial surge of cold air. Even a little bit of snow here 6 days out in middle Tennessee. But this is developing into an enormous area of low pressure over the Great Lakes. You would think that this is going to grab a ton of cold air out of Canada and plunge it towards the south, but this is midnight on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. But this is Christmas Eve. You know, you got Mass and you got services going on Christmas Eve. The 32-degree line is still towards our north. So that's why I'm saying I don't think this is true Arctic air. But I tell you what, if you got travel plans to this area of the country, woo, look out. So let's go into Christmas Day now. So this is noon on Christmas Day. Temperatures are close to average. This is why I'm not optimistic about, again, but the timing of all these players on the weather map are so uncertain when you're talking about something 7 to 8 to 9 days out. There's another strong wave of low pressure developing here, and I think it's the air behind this one that's going to get some Arctic air involved. And this is late on Christmas Day. You see some showers trying to break out. The 32-degree line is over southern Missouri. And look at this. This is on the 26th at 6 p.m. This is the front. And you look up here in the corner, you see at 1048, that's a very strong area of surface high pressure coming out of the northwestern territories of Canada. And I think that that's going to have the Arctic air that's going to eventually make its way towards the south. You see some light to moderate snows off towards our north. You cannot take this literally. Do not believe in the specifics. But it does show, the models show an Arctic boundary just after Christmas coming through. Can it come through during Christmas Day? Absolutely. The timing of this is just not known. But look at this cold air. This is day 10. Way out of the accuracy of this is going to be horrible. But look at this. A 1057 millibar high. So there's that cold Arctic air, shallow, very dense cold air. And this is what I was showing you with the ensemble maps, with these. So you get, oh, come on, go back here. So you get this cold Arctic air. It banks up against the east slopes of the Rocky Mountains and affects areas along that east slopes of the Rockies eastward. And you've got a cold north wind blowing. Could this get here Christmas Day? Sure. Again, we're looking at modeling that didn't handle this wave of low pressure all that well that's coming through Friday. But you know where the battle lines were drawn, where I said on Sunday that I did not think this was going to bring any significant snow to the state because we were lacking the true cold air. It would be just a cold rain. And so far that has done well. But now with this wave of low pressure coming through on Friday, now we're lacking the moisture with it. It looks like a lot of it's just going to be weak and towards the south. So there you have it. I'm showing you the patterns, the changes, the trends down the road, and the specifics I think are going to be very tough to nail down this far out. Deep breath. 13-minute video. I hope you got a lot out of it. And I love the forecasting challenges here that I get to look at every day. And this is the time of year I can just get absorbed into all the model data. And it's just a lot of fun to watch and track. And I appreciate all of you along for the ride to do that. Thank you so much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. I think there's a 15-minute limit on these YouTube videos too. So I came in just on that. Boy, do I need a shave, don't I? Go back to work tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.